Ophir is calling in from Miami Beach. Ophir, welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you, Stacy, for taking my call. I'm an Israeli American. We can never let this Kamala Harris come into office. She would be a nightmare for America, for Israel. And you could see it yesterday when President Trump went to the October 7th memorial, and when he stood next to a poster of a hostage and gave a big thumbs up and big smile, and then had the village people, YMCA, played at the end of the service because it was such a festive event. Is that Trump such a clown or what? What a piece of crap.
You don't like President Trump? That's your right as an American citizen. And you expressing that here on
What
the
did you
program
think about him standing there with a big smile on his face?
I'm actually glad you asked me about that. And I'm excited to have you here sharing your opinion as someone who doesn't like President Trump, because that's what this country is built on. You said you're a Jewish American. Is that right? Is that what you said?
And yes.
So
yes.
You have family in Israel, or all of your family is here?
Both.
So when's the last time you were in Israel, if you don't mind my asking?
About 10 years ago.
Okay. So what did you think of the response from Biden and the Biden-Harris White House in response to the October 7th attack?
He sent one of our air carriers into the Mediterranean, and he's pretty much given not everything, but almost every weapon that they've asked for and wanted.
And then his support of Iran, have you been supportive of that as well?
No, not so much.
And the loosening of the sanctions that enabled. Let's not go back to President Trump, because you've already expressed that you don't like him. So I understand that you don't agree with any of his policies. I'm asking you about your support of President Biden, because you said you are an Israeli American. You're Jewish and you have family in Israel. You said that. So I can't possibly be any more outraged than you are over what happened on October 7th, and what enabled them to have the money to fund their terror proxies in Hamas was the loosening of sanctions by President Biden and Kamala Harris. And I'm asking you if you supported that.
Oh, right. There had never been any fighting before that. Yeah, you're right.
I'm talking about October 7th. I asked you a very specific question, Ophir.
So am I.
October 7th, that specific attack was funded directly by Iranians who, at the end of the Trump administration, had $1.5 billion in their coffers. Right. And now they have over $80 billion because they've been selling their oil on the open market, and the sanctions have been loosened. And I'm asking you, as a Jewish person, a person who you were materially impacted by the October 7th attack, and you're obviously outraged over a photoshopped image of President Trump smiling, holding a hostage image. But you're not outraged over what happened with
Photoshop,
with the funding of Iran. So your priorities are a little off. And you seem to be suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, because that's the only thing you want to talk about. I'm sitting here asking you questions
Stacey,
about
you're a good cult member. You're
and no, actually I'm not. There's nothing cultish about me asking you questions about Iran and them being funded and allowed to make money selling oil.
You just said that photo was photoshopped.
You just can't stop talking about Trump. You honestly you care more about Trump than you do about Israelis who were raped and burned alive. So I'm putting Ophir on hold, because here's the truth. That's not his real name. He's not Jewish, and he doesn't care about Israel. He's suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, and he's the kind of person who, actually, he sounds a lot like that other, what is his name? The one who calls in here all the time, and I forget what his name is, George, Greg. We have a troll who calls in here a lot, and he calls in to the shows earlier in the day. And he really he lives to talk about President Trump and to kind of interact with hosts here on Sirius XM, Patriot Channel. And Ophir sounds a lot like him. So not your real name, not really Jewish, not a good person. Not a good person, Ophir, or whatever your name is, George, Greg. You should be ashamed of yourself for politicizing and making fun of something where over 1,000 people died. People were raped. People were gang raped. Women were gang raped. And you're sitting up here laughing about Trump. You're not Jewish. All right, we'll be back with more. Stay right there.